Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me using all the baskets, all the products I pulled in my stash. It's where I did a little shopping basket and I pulled all the products out that I'm going to be trying out this week. So I've been trying these all out, so I do have thoughts and opinions on everything. So let's go ahead and get started because I know I'm going to be like chatting while we do this, but I'll also be talking about the products. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put some cream on my skin. I'm going to use the Tatcha Indigo Cream. I love this cream. It's not super hydrating, so for me it works great for the daytime. And it comes with this cute little spatula, so you just put a little bit onto your spatula here, and then I rub it onto my ring finger, and then I just start patting it onto my skin. Probably going to pull you guys in a little bit closer because I feel like you guys are pretty far out. So I'll bring you guys in as soon as I rub this in. I just tend to just rub it in like you would any typical moisturizer. You're supposed to go up actually with a moisturizer. So that way there you can help to prevent that sagging, that aging. So honestly, don't ever follow that rule all the time. So I just put it on however. As long as it's going on my skin and it feels good, that's all that matters to me. So I'm just going to keep on putting it on. Keep on putting it on. So after I put this on, I'm going to go ahead and start in with my primer. I'm going to be using the Tatcha primer as well. So feels good. I like to kind of like pat after I put a moisturizer on because I feel like it really helps to make it sink in nice. And plus, I remember when I went to the spa when we were on the cruise boat and they just kind of like did this number, and it just feels so relaxing just to have somebody kind of tapping on your skin. I don't know why, but it just does. It feels very nice just to tap on your skin a little bit. The other thing that's really nice is this little thing here. What do I do with it? Where are you at? Oh, it's in the bag. This little thing here, it's supposed to be kind of like the Dr. one that Chatty uses. I don't know what the name of it is offhand. I keep forgetting what the name of that darn thing is. But this one's by Youth Lab. This one works really good for just kind of rubbing under your eyes if you have like a lot of puffiness. These are very cold, so when you put this on, I feel like it immediately shrinks. Not because it's magical or anything like that, just because it's cold. So you can technically put ice cubes on your skin and it's going to help to decrease the puffiness under your eyes. So it doesn't have to technically be this. This is just a cool one. That's probably why I won't. Nurse Jamie, that's it. It's the Nurse Jamie one, the one that Tatcha uses. I would probably never buy that one just because I feel like it's not really that it's the tool that's magical. It's just that it's cold. So I don't know. Either way, it does feel nice to put it under your skin. Under your skin. Don't put it under your skin. That would be a little weird. So I do kind of roll up as well on both sides a little bit here, and then on my hot dog pack here I roll it there. Feels like it's really bumpy right there. I don't know if it's because it's my forehead or if it's because it's rolling into all those little cracks and crannies. Have a bunch of Thomas's English muffins on my forehead. So alright, I'm gonna pull you guys in closer now. So let's see, get you close. Hello. Alright, now that you're close, we're gonna go ahead and start with the primer. I'm going to be using the Tatcha primer like I discussed. So this is the Tatcha, the Silk Canvas Primer. I love this primer. For me, it does a great job of helping to, especially in this area right here, because I do have bigger pores in this area, so I feel like it helps to hide those pores. It doesn't like hide them completely, but I don't think there's any product that can do that unless you're technically putting like wall spackle on your face. Then it might hide them completely. So this one here, you use this little coin tool thing, and you're going to take it up to the line. So once you take it up to the line, that is the amount of product that you need. That is all you need. Don't use any more. That is a perfect amount. So put the lid back on this. This is going to last you a long time. So even though it's expensive, it's going to last you a very, very long time. So I don't mind paying for something expensive if I know that it's going to keep and that it's not like calling for like half of the container to actually utilize it. So I'm going to start looking over here because I do have a mirror. So I'm just going to put this on. And you want to put this on, and I can't remember. Oh my gosh. I've just been putting it on in like patting motions, but I think there's an actual specific way. I'll have to figure out what that way is again. I forget. I just put it on however. I know there's like technically ways that you're supposed to put on every item of makeup, but I think don't leave it like this. Definitely rub it in more than that. Don't do it, Tiffany. So I'm just kind of patting it in because I think it works really well like that. It just helps to diminish the look of my pores, especially like I said in this area right here, because this is where I did have a lot of acne issues and stuff like that, as well as whiteheads, which left me with bigger pores. So I'm just going to pat. I wish it would fill in like spackle right here on my hot dog lines. That'd be amazing. So I'm just going to pat this in. Pat. Oh, feels nice. It's like got a very nice slip to it. It's not super hydrating like a moisturizer. It's more like a, I don't know, like a balm, because it definitely feels a little bit greasy. But I think you could probably still use it if you had oily skin. I don't know. I don't have oily skin. I only have dry to sometimes normal, mostly dry. So, alright. So that is on. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put my foundation on. I'm using the Urban Decay Naked Skin. This foundation is good, but I did notice that if I don't moisturize very well underneath, that it tends to look a little flaky on my skin. So I don't know that it's the best for dry skin if you don't hydrate really well. If you're already hydrating if you're hydrating really well, then I wouldn't worry about it. But it definitely can look a little bit weird on my skin if I don't hydrate very well. So this is actually a really good match too for my color right now, because I have no tan at all. In fact, my husband actually mentioned the other day, maybe we should go on vacation so you can get a tan. I was like, yeah, I think that's a great idea. Let's go. So now I'm going to use my Real Technique sponge and just pat this in. My sponge, I noticed it's got some little divots out of it. I don't know if you can tell it or not. I'm going to have to turn down the lighting behind you guys. I feel like it's a little bright. Hang on. Let me grab a cloth here so I don't get... Whoa, what the heck did I just do? Let me turn this down. I feel like it's too bright. Is that better? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe. Oh, there's a hair in there too. Okay. That does not come included with your sponge. You'll have to add them yourself. So it's a little pale for me still, but it's not overly pale, so I'm not going to worry about it. I can definitely bronze it up a little bit. So I'm just going to pat this in, especially around my eye area, because you'll see if I don't pat it in really well, you can totally tell that I'm wearing foundation, which most of the time you can tell when somebody's wearing foundation anyway, but I like for it to look as natural as you possibly can make it. So why not? So that was only a one pump, and I just kind of spread it all around. You can definitely make it a little bit more full coverage. I probably won't make it super full coverage just because I like to have my skin be able to breathe. My sponge is falling apart here. Hey now, stop that. You have one job. Do your job. So yeah, I don't know that I'll put 2 coats on. Maybe I will in certain areas. I'll put an extra like half a pump onto my hand and then use that extra half a pump into areas like right here. So maybe we'll do that. Let's do that real quick. Yeah, because I think we do need a little bit more. So a half a pump. So right there, just a half a pump. Just a teeny little bit. I'm just going to put some here, 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 here. I'm like here, here. Like everywhere pretty much, aren't we? Especially this little friend up here that was like an uninvited guest. I don't know how that always happens. I checked the guest list and I didn't see his name on there. I'm like, how did you show up? Don't see your invitation. Okay. So I'm just going to rub that in or pat it in with my sponge. I have like really bad redness right here from where I wear my glasses. They tend to pinch my nose pretty badly. And I wear my glasses quite often just because contacts are great and everything, but they're not so great if you happen to fall asleep and take a nap. And then guess what? You have contacts in while you're sleeping, and you shouldn't do that unless you have the kind that actually can be worn while you're sleeping. So if I know that I might possibly take a nap, you'll see me wearing my glasses just because I feel like that's safer. Okay, that's good enough with the foundation. Like I said, it's not an exact color match because I mean you can definitely see a difference, but we'll bronze that up. I need to pull my hair out of my face because I can't stand it. Do you guys like ever have that issue where your hair, you're like, I want my hair longer, but I don't want it to touch my face, I don't want it to touch my neck, I just want it to be like up in a ponytail or up in like a fun bun? So let's put her up in a fun bun. Let's see, let's just do this. And we'll use our little tie thing and we'll get her up here into a, I look like a rooster here in a second. See, there's no rooster do. All right, there, now it's out of my face at least. I feel like it's hard to do makeup when you have hair in your face in the first place. So, okay, make sure I get back to my ears too. That was the other thing that I wanted to put my hair up for. My ears are really red. This one is. Somebody must be talking about me. That's what I used to be told that it means. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I was told. So now I'm going to use my brow product. This is the Kat Von D. This is the Super Brow. This stuff is really good. I know I've heard some people say that they don't like it, which I mean, everybody has their own opinion on different products. But I think a lot of people aren't liking it because I think that it goes on a little too thick. For me, if I use the Kat Von D actual tool that you can purchase with the brow product, and I know you shouldn't have to do that, you should be able to use whatever you have, but I think there's something special about this tool because it doesn't pick up too much, and I feel like it doesn't give you crazy brows. You don't look crazy, so it just kind of lightly goes on. So, I mean, honestly, you can't even see I hardly put any on there. And I'm tapping into it. I'm not like pretending to tap. I'm actually tapping. It's just that you got to go in with a light hand for sure. Unless you want a darker brow, then you can go in with a heavier hand. But I think this is one of those kind of universal type things where it's kind of like the It Cosmetics universal one, where the harder you press, the more pigmentation you're going to get. The lighter you press, the less pigmentation you're going to get. But I think that's any eyebrow product. Honestly, I think you can make any eyebrow product almost like that, where you just press hard and you get a darker line, like drawing with crayons. You can make your pictures shaded with your crayons. That's what I'm doing. I'm shading my brows. So I've been meaning to talk to you guys about my health, because I'm sure that a lot of you guys have noticed that I was a little absentee there for a while. And I'll be honest with you, I had a couple health scares. So they weren't sure what was going on. Well, it all started on a day that my husband wasn't home. And of course I was sick too on top of this. So needless to say, I was sick. I had like a really bad cold on top of what happens. But anyway, I was home by myself, and all of a sudden my heart rate went up like really high. And I have my Apple Watch on. So when I looked at my Apple Watch, it said that it was 210. And I was like, what? So then I was like freaking out, because that's really extremely high. And I wasn't doing anything that should have caused it to go up that high. I was just standing, picking up laundry. It should not have gone up just by doing that. So anyway, I started to panic a little bit, and then I thought it'll go down, because I've had episodes like that before where it's gone up pretty high, but it usually goes back down within a very short amount of time, like 5 minutes at the most. Well, this time I waited 5 minutes and it was still going on, and it was beating so hard that I could literally feel my heart, feel like it was coming out of my chest. It was just awful. It was a very awful feeling. And then it didn't go away. It didn't go away. It didn't go away. And then it was beating and beating and beating. And then it was starting to hurt, because you know how you can feel your heartbeat in your neck here? It was hurting all the way up into my neck. It felt like somebody was trying to asphyxiate me. So it felt like I was being choked out. I don't know what in the world that was from. I guess from just it beating so hard for so long that it was just literally coming up into my throat. So of course it's beating that hard. I'm doing all the different techniques that I've been taught to help reduce my heart rate when it gets like that. So you're supposed to bear down like you're having a bowel movement. If you have heart issues where it gets really high like that, you're supposed to also like breathe. Like you're supposed to, there's some breathing techniques that you can do for it. It's kind of like anxiety. So you do almost the same steps for that. Cough. So if you're having heart issues, you need to cough, because that usually will kind of slow it down a little bit. None of those techniques were working. So needless to say, it kept going on, and I was feeling awful, not knowing what to do to get it to stop. Finally, 40 minutes later, it finally started to calm down. So for 40 minutes straight, it stayed above, it was right around 190 to 210. So my heart rate stayed that way for 40 minutes. So once it went away, I thought, okay, I'm good. Nothing bad happened. I'm all right. Well, then my husband, I called him to tell him what had happened, because since, like I said, he was out of town. I'm taking forever on my brows today. I think it's just because I'm talking so much. So anyway, I called him and I told him what had happened, and he kind of panicked, because he's seen and felt my heart act crazy before, and like I said, never for that long. He knew that that was an extremely long amount of time, so he panicked. So then I told him that I would call my doctor the next day, because it was after hours of the doctor's office. So the next day I called my doctor and I made an appointment to go see my doctor. So I went to see my doctor, and she was highly concerned. She said that with a heart rate that high, that you can technically pass out from your heart rate being that high. So she said the next time that my heart rate got that high, that I was to immediately call somebody to get help, because that's not healthy for your heart to be that high. It's not normal. Anything over 100 when you're not doing anything is not normal. So I was like, whoa, okay. That kind of scared me. Well, then she went ahead and did an EKG on my heart. So she hooked me up to like all these little sticker things all over you, and then checked my heart that way. That basically just gives them a range for what they can look for, I guess, in your heart. So they did all that. And I mean, of course that came back normal because nothing was happening at that point. So everything came back normal there. Well, then she told me that I needed to go have an echocardiogram and have a Holter monitor put on. So I was like, great. So I guess that's pretty serious. So now I'm using my MAC Painterly paint pot. I'm gonna just do this on my eyelids. So anyway, I scheduled an appointment to go have an echocardiogram done and have the Holter monitor put on. So the echocardiogram was a little intimidating to me, to be honest with you, because basically an echocardiogram is an ultrasound. So like if you are pregnant and they do an ultrasound on your belly to check the baby, that's basically what it is, except for they're checking your heart. Well, funny story, when she's doing my echocardiogram, the lady, she puts the Doppler thing onto my heart where it's supposed to be, and she says she's sitting there struggling, and I could tell she was struggling. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? So then I told her, I said, hey, I said, you're having a hard time finding my heart, right? She's like, yeah. And that scared me. So I'm like, what? How can you not find somebody's heart? Well, anyway, I said, well, would it have anything to do with the fact that I have an inverted sternum? Which means if you don't know what an inverted sternum is, basically most people's chest bones are flat across. Mine is not. Mine sticks out pretty far. So I have an inverted chest bone. She said, aha. She said, I think that's what it is. So then she was able to finally find my heart rate, which was down lower. It was like below my boob. So my heart was like way down that low. And I'm like, that is weird that my heart is down that low. So anyway, she did the whole test and everything. She was super nice. My husband came with me and everything. So he was there for support and there to help me laugh, because he's really good at making me laugh. And there's no better medicine than for somebody to help make you laugh, because honestly, when you don't feel good or you're worried, when somebody helps make you laugh, that really changes your mood. So he was an excellent support. So anyway, the next thing they did is they did that whole test there, and then they decided they were going to put me on the Holter monitor. So I go over and they put the Holter monitor on, and I'm told that I need to leave it on for 48 hours with no shower. And I'm like, what? Ew. I'm very picky. I sometimes take 2 baths a day because I'm just really weird about that. I've always been like that. So I was not very happy about that part. Well, anyway, they put the Holter monitor on, and you're supposed to, oh, by the way, I'm using my Anastasia Sultry palette. I'm so busy talking. I'm using this palette here. The first thing I did was go in with Fresh. I used that to, whoops, can't even see it, can you? I used Fresh to set my lids. Now I'm going to go into Birch and kind of do a crease. So anyway, they decided to put the Holter monitor on, but when they put it on, like I said, you have to leave it on for I think there's different time frames that you can do it for. Mine was supposed to be on for 48 hours, so I had to put it on and not shower with it for 48 hours. She said you could do like a wipe down bath type thing. So, and I'm like, okay. Anyway, so I go home with it, and then you're supposed to, anytime you feel something going on with your heart, you're supposed to hit a little button, the thing that clips onto your waistband. So I did have a couple things where I felt like my heart was not acting right. So I was like, that doesn't feel right. So I clicked it and then told them exactly what I was doing. And one point I was just standing in my kitchen getting ready to make dinner, and my heart rate went up. So I told them and wrote that all down. Well, then I go ahead and on Monday we have to turn that back in to the hospital, and then my doctor does the reading. So it takes a couple days for her to get back to me to tell me the results on it. Sorry guys. So once she finally gets back to me with the results, she confirms that yes, there were episodes happening to my heart, and they think that there's something wrong with the circuit in my heart. So the echocardiogram showed that everything was functioning correctly the way that it should be, but they think there's something wrong with one of the circuits in my heart. So they think that that is causing me to have heart palpitations, and they call it something with a T, and I can't remember offhand right now what it's called, but it's an actual name for it. It basically means that your heart speeds up. So there's 2 different ways you can have it. You can have it so that your heart speeds up, or that your heart slows down. Well, mine basically does both, because before I have an episode, my heart will feel like it almost drops to my feet, and then all of a sudden it like spikes really far up. So it's really weird. So anyway, she told me that I do in fact have something wrong with my heart. So they wanted to put me on some medicine. So I am now on a heart medicine that I will be taking for a very long time. And I went ahead and did some research into it. And the medicine that I'm taking does have some side effects to it. So the side effects are that you can get depression, which, I mean, I already have anxiety and I'm on medication for that. So I'm hoping that kind of counteracts each other so I don't get depression with it. But if you do notice a change in my mood or anything, I'd love for you guys to let me know, because I don't know. It's hard for me to see it sometimes in myself, although I'm pretty good at spotting depression and anxiety in myself pretty easily. So, but sometimes I don't. So it takes an outside perspective sometimes. Okay, so that eye is done. I feel like it's taking me forever today because I'm talking so much. The next thing I'm going to do is go back into that palette. Sorry if the brushes are noisy here on the table, guys. I'm going to use this Luxie small taper blending brush, and I'm going to go into Distortion. No, what does it say? Dystopian. I don't know what that says. I'm going to throw that brush out. I'm going to tap into there and then pat it off. I'm just going to basically put it here, place it, and then we'll blend it out. Just want some on the outside here. Do the same thing. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Okay, so anyway, I will be on this heart medication for a while. And like I said, it does have some side effects, but the side effects to me outweigh the risk factor of not taking it. So I thought it was better for me to take it because, I mean, I don't really want to pass out one day, perhaps while I'm driving or something like that, with my heart speeding up the way that it did the one day. So I felt it was a better risk to take the medication and hopefully help to prevent any future incidents. So I have been on the medication for a little while now, or a couple days at least. And I can tell you that it definitely, I can feel a difference in my heart. I'm using Bloom now. I'm just kind of putting a little bit of this peachiness into here. But I can feel a difference. I really can. I feel like my heart's not as, I felt like my heart was in overdrive before. I felt like, honestly, it was just working so hard all the time. And I felt out of breath. I felt exhausted all the time. And I'm starting to finally get my energy back again. So, which makes me really happy, because I think my heart functioning incorrectly was wearing me down. I think that really was wearing me down. So I'm really happy to report that I think that things are going to get better from here. So keeping my fingers crossed. So I hope so anyway. And of course, I'll continue to go back to my doctor for checkups and everything to make sure everything's going okay. Now I'm going to go into, I like Pearl, but Pearl is pretty chunky. So I'm not sure I want to use Pearl. I think I want to use Rose Quartz. And I'm just going to put this on my finger. I didn't bring over my little rubber brush. So I'm just going to put some on my finger here. I like putting on like shimmery shadows with my finger anyway. Or the little rubber brush. Either one. Both of them work great. Although I do have really big fingers, so I have to be really careful. I have like man hands. I always remind myself, like when I see other girls with their tiny little hands and me with my big hands, it reminds me of that episode on Seinfeld where the girl that Seinfeld's dating, she's like cracking the lobsters and then she's like reaching across the table and like wiping stuff off his face, and she's got these really big hands. I'm like, that's me. Now I will go into Pearl just a teeny little bit on my pinky, and I'll do that on the inner corner right here. Not really inner corner, just the inner portion of my lid. I'll put a little bit right there. And do the same thing on the other side. So far, that's the only thing I don't like about this palette, is that this color right here is pretty chunky. It's got a lot of chunkiness to it. So other than that, I think this palette's really nice. I think it's not anything that's like super unusual, but it's still really nice. So I'm not upset that I purchased it whatsoever. Now I'm going to go into my Charlotte Tilbury. I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury palette to use that to give myself a brow bone highlight. So I'm just going to grab that little brush again, that Luxie brush. I'm going to wipe it off here on my little towel. And I'm going to use this pink shade right here. This is a really pretty color. I'm going to use that to kind of give myself a little bit of a brow bone highlight. Nothing dramatic, because this is not very dramatic at all. This is like, if you're looking for dramatic highlights or anything like that, this is not it. This is definitely not it. This is like more, very subtle. Very, almost like you have to look close. You have to look close to see if somebody's actually wearing makeup. You're like, are you sure you're wearing makeup? I'm not so sure. So I don't know if this is going to be a palette that everybody's going to love, because I know a lot of people like that bold look. So, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I like it too. There's a time and a place for it. So you see what I'm saying? Now I'm going to go with my Smashbox. This is the Studio Skin 24-Hour Waterproof Concealer. This is extremely light for me. Even with this light foundation, it's extremely light. So I just like to go in and put it in places that I think that I need it the most. I'm not going to cover my acne today. It'll be alright. It's okay. Nobody's skin is perfect. Mine certainly is not. So I'm not going to worry about it. No worries. That was the one thing I liked about in Jamaica, like their like motto was like, no problem. Because like anything you tell them, they say no problem. I like that. I like that type of perspective on life. Like you say, hey, I got a flat tire. No problem. Hey. I love it. I like that they're very easygoing. That was a really fun trip. I can't wait to do another trip with our family. My husband, like I said, he's thinking about doing a trip soon, which he was thinking about possibly doing one over Christmas, which that would be fun because it would be so cold here and it'd be nice and warm wherever we go. Now I'm using the Becca. This is the, what is this called? Under Eye Brightening Setting Powder. I had to look. I have no idea what it's called. I just take a little bit on my pinky, not my pinky, but my ring finger, and I tap it in like this. I find this works the best because it doesn't get cakey on me, and I feel like I set it really well this way. So it's going to sit in there, and I like to look a little crazy when I'm doing it, so I just pat a little bit here and pat a little bit there. Give them all a little pat of butter. Isn't that like a phrase or like a commercial or something? Possibly. I think it is. Alright, so now I feel like it brightens up a little bit. Even with being as fair as this foundation is, it still brightens it up a little bit. Okay. So anyway, that's why I wanted to tell you guys, kind of like in a sit down, about my health, because I know that I was not very good about doing things on my channel there for a little while, and I do apologize for that, but I just feel like I needed to get that under control and figure out what was going on, because I was honestly scared. I really was, because I mean, my family does have a history of heart attacks. My brother has had a heart attack. My dad has had 2 heart attacks, so there is a history of heart attacks on my family. So I was very concerned, and that's not something that I wanted to try to figure out how to deal with 2 kids. I mean, my kids are pretty young. My oldest is 20 and my youngest is 16, so didn't want to have to try to figure out how to tell them things like that. Now I'm going to go back into the Charlotte Tilbury. I'm going to start to kind of give myself some color here. I'm going to use this bronzer right here, or the contour color. It is extremely light, so I don't think this palette would definitely not work for everyone because it's very, very light. It barely shows up on me. I mean, barely. Look, I'm going in here and like there's not a whole lot of color. Like I said, I think this palette is very subtle. Don't think this palette is one of those that you want to think that you're going to be able to go in and create bold looks with. That's for sure. This palette is not going to give you bold looks. So I'm just going to kind of use it like you would a bronzer and just kind of bronze all over just to give myself some extra color. It's more of a gray toned one, so it's going to look fine. It's not going to look like a suntan or anything, but it'll look more like shadows. So just going to put it all over. Blend, blend, blend. Blend, blend, blend. Alright. I'm going to do a little bit more here, trying to give a little bit of definition to my cheekbones. I did put a little bit of weight there for a while. I'm trying to take it back off. Which we get our gym finished, I should be able to start working out soon. We have our new gym almost finished. Makes me very happy because I'd like to get back into the gym. I have a gym right now that I can work out in, but I was scared to, I'll be honest. I was scared to like do any workouts with my heart being the way it was. I was like, that's probably not the best idea. Probably not a good idea to be going in here and doing a bunch of cardio. And then I was scared, what if I did, because I like to work out like by myself, either really late at nighttime or during like the morning hours when people are sleeping or not even here. So I was a little paranoid. What if I pass out or something? So I didn't want to do it. Didn't want to chance it. Now that my heart medication, I feel like it's working, then I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't even know what I'm doing now, guys. Oh yeah, I'm gonna give myself some more color here. So now what I'm gonna do is go in and give myself some color on my lash line. So I'm gonna go back into the Anastasia palette. I'm gonna use the shade Nior. No. Sorry guys, we got shut off. Hopefully you didn't miss too much. We're just going in. I'm going to give myself some color in my lash line. So we're using Noir. So I'm just going to basically push this into my lash line. I have a different brush than I should be using for this, but I didn't grab it. So we're just going to utilize what we have. I always blink a lot when I try to do this. It's hard. It's just going to keep me from having to use a, I don't want to put a liner on today. I just want to kind of do a little bit more natural looking. More like an everyday makeup. Nothing too crazy. I'm going to try to close my eye and do it this way. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Sometimes I end up looking like a raccoon. And that's okay. So it went below on my bottom lash line, but, or the bottom, is that the lash line? Waterline? I have no idea. But that's okay because I'm going to use a little bit of that anyway. I'm going to rub off my brush here. And then I'm going to smear that out a little bit. Just to give myself a little bit of color on the bottom lash line. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Give myself a little bit of color. And I'm going to try to dab that off right there on the inner portion. You have a little bit. You can go all the way away. So we're gonna work with it. We're gonna work with it. Good enough. Good enough for me. All right, now I'm gonna go in with my It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. I'm not loving this as much as I used to. I don't know why, but it's just not impressing me like it used to. And I'm still bad at mascara, so anybody who does this, anybody who watches this and you remember how good I am at mascara, you'll see. I still get it on my lid. This is not one of my fortes. That's for sure. You guys will have to let me know too if you like the longer get ready with me's or if you like more of a sped up one where I just show you what I'm going to use and then I just speed through and then show you end results. I personally like the ones where they're chatty, like what we're doing here. Just because I feel like you can sit down and you can literally do your makeup at the same time. Or if you are like me, I like to do dishes and watch videos. Or I like to clean my house and watch videos or listen to videos. So, and if it's sped through, it's usually just music. And if I want to listen to music, then I'm just going to put music on. I don't really like the sped through videos, but that's me personally. I don't know how you guys feel. That's how I like it though. Oh yeah, look how much I just got on my lid. I'm so fantastic at mascara. I feel like this is clumpier than what I remember it being. Do you see how clumpy my lashes look? I'm like, I don't remember it being this clumpy. But it's pretty crumpy. Crumpy. It's clumpy. Alright, so I'm just going to let that dry. And then we'll clean up the lid because I made a mess. I made a mess. I messed up. Alright, so now I'm going to go in here and use this pink shade again and put it on my like ring finger. And just going to dab here just to give myself a little bit of inner corner highlight. The one thing about the Anastasia palette, there you can't really use anything in there to do like a brow bone highlight nor like an inner corner highlight unless you wanted like a beaming one. And I don't like my inner corner to be beaming. I like it to be, you know, apparent that it's there, but I don't want it to be like, oh my gosh. Does she just put like bottle glitter on her lids? Because I don't like that personally, but everybody likes something different. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean you don't have to like it. So everybody likes different things. Now I'm going to mix the two blushes here. And I'm using my Besame? Yeah, my Besame brush. So I'm just mixing the two. So one's more matte and one has more like a satin type of look to it. So I'm just going to tap. I'm going to put this on, give myself a little bit of color here. This will really help to make me look a little bit more awake. I'm not sure that this color looks that good with the lipstick that I picked out for the week because this peachy blush shade to me is more like spring summer. It's not really a fall winter type of blush. You can wear any shades that you want to at any time of the year, though it doesn't really matter, but I'm just not sure that they blend really well together, the two of them. I always put some on my nose too, so if you just saw me do that, I always do that because I think it makes you look a little bit more like you're like sun-kissed. Sun-kissed skin. All right, now I'm going to highlight. So go back into that same palette. I'm going to use this brush right here. This is the Sigma tapered highlighting brush. So I'm going to use the gold one to highlight with. This is the more gold shade. This one's the more pink shade. Tap off. And I just like to put a little highlight on. Highlight, highlight. But a highlight though. All right, so put this on. And then I'm going to put just a little bit down my nose. This is what I think it's good for, because I know a lot of people don't want that really bold highlight down their nose because it can really accentuate like your nose like dramatically. I think Wayne Goss doesn't recommend that you highlight your nose in the first place, but I did it. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and grab my Q-tip. I thought I pulled one. Yep, here it is. Grab my Q-tip and clean up my lids where I messed up with my mascara. So there's that one. And here's this one. And then I like to take the other side of the Q-tip and just make sure there's no makeup on the inner portion of my eye. Like, it starts to look like eye yuckies in there. So just make sure it's clean, because nobody wants to look like you got eye boogies. That would be kind of gross. Now, why is this creasing on me today? I feel like it's creasing under here. Pat, pat, pat. I don't think I patted well enough. We didn't do a good job patting, I don't think. We're just going to pat a little bit more. All right, that's good enough. Works for me. Works for you? Now we're going to go ahead and use this. This is the Krisanna Ann Cosmetics lipstick. I think it's just called a lips. It's a lipstick. It's like a liquid lipstick. And this is in Savage. This is a pretty bright color, so I don't know how good it looks with like an eye look like this and with this cheek color. Like I said, I think this cheek color doesn't really go with it, but oh well, we're going to do it anyway. So I have to be really careful because I can look like Miranda Sings really quickly with this. Uh-oh. I got like no lip right there. Oh no. Oh man, this is why I hate dark colors. Dark colors are so hard to do. I end up with it everywhere. I'm not gonna wear it this dark anyway. I'm gonna spread it all out. And then I'm gonna wipe some down. I don't like it. I don't like it that dark. It doesn't look that good on me when it's that dark. So there we go. Wipe some down. Use my beauty sponge to clean up around my lips here. And that is it. I got lipstick everywhere. Told you guys I was gonna look like Miranda Sings. It's a little bright for me. Anyway, that is today's Get Ready With Me. I'd love to know your thoughts, your opinions on the look, how it turned out. It's not beautiful. I promise you, I'm not a makeup artist, but I just like playing with makeup and I like talking to you guys. So more or less, it's just like a time to chat with girls. So, or boys, it doesn't matter either way. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you would like to see another one like this, let me know, because I can totally do that next week when I do the Shop My Stash. We'll use those products in a Get Ready With Me, or if you want to like sped through, let me know how you prefer it. Just let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later.